Hello, 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 hello. Welcome, viewers, to this constitutional study. And thank you very much for joining us live here. It is an honor to be with you. So I'm wearing the shades because where I am, I'm trying to use light here. So I need to be able to read here. That is the reason why I am using these shades. And I also want to be able to read on the screen here so that we can easily communicate. I don't know if you are hearing me, please just drop a comment. If you are hearing me, just drop a comment. Or if you are facing any challenge to hear from me, also put a comment here so that I know before we go further, so that I fix my network here. So today we are on episode number 2, and we want to cover from the Constitution of Zimbabwe from chapter 4. This is a constitutional study, and we are doing it for the benefit of the people of Zimbabwe. I know some of you are not aware of what the Constitution says, so we are trying here to bring it up to you so that when you are doing whatever you are doing, you can listen to what the Constitution say and you can understand a lot of things. Then in this process, we are going to give you examples where we believe that the violations are happening. We are going to give you practical examples of what is happening here in the nation of Zimbabwe. So ngatitaurei in the comment section, please. And also don't forget to like. Mukalaika imimi zvinoita kuti other people vakwanise kuwana this video. They can actually find this feed easily. So please like, so that other people can get the feed. Other people can get to know that we are live right now. So in the comment section, ngatitaurei, I need to interact with you here. So on beginning from section 4, I think in the first episode, which is here, we covered from section 1 to 3. And here we want to cover section 4. And section 4, it talks about the Zimbabwe national flag, national anthem, public seal, and coat of arms. And these are important things in the nation of Zimbabwe. We all know that our young kids at school, they practice the national anthem. They know a lot about the national flag, and it is very important. You all need to know the rules of the national flag here in Zimbabwe. And when the flag is at half-mast, it means that there is a national hero which is being buried or which is dead. So these are important issues. When the national anthem is being sung, you need to stop. You stop and you stand still and you stand at ease until the national anthem is finished. So if you are caught walking while the national anthem is being sung, you risk to be arrested and be arraigned from the court of law. So that is very important for you as a citizen to know that all those things are very important. And also, the coat of arms. These are the coat of arms is usually used on the government letterheads. It's like the government's official letterhead or logo, and it is a very important symbol here in Zimbabwe. And then we have a public seal, which is set out in the first schedule, and we have the 5 tiers of government, and these are the national government, which is led by the president himself, the cabinet. Then we have provincial and metropolitan councils, and we have local authorities. And that is to say, we have within the local authorities, we have urban councils, and we also have rural councils. So on the issue of provincial and metropolitan councils, that is where you are seeing people are talking about devolution. We are saying power must go to the provinces so that the provinces can cascade down and govern the local authorities within their provinces. in the nation of Zimbabwe, and that is very, 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 very important. And let's go on to chapter 6 here. Section 6 here, which is very, very important, and we need to listen attentively to this section here. It talks about the Zimbabwean languages. So when you're in Zimbabwe, the following languages are namely Chewa, Chibarwe, English, Kalanga, Khoisan, Nambia, Ndau, Ndebele, Shangani, Shona, Sign Language, Soto, Tonga, Swana, Venda, Xhosa. They are the officially recognized languages of Zimbabwe. I need you to take note here. These are the officially recognized languages of Zimbabwe. And the reason why I said you need to take note here is because this is where a lot of constitutional violation is being done here in Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe is deliberately violating Section 6 of the Constitution. And we need to elaborate, and we need to tell you why I believe that this section is being violated by the whole country. The whole country is deliberately violating the Constitution here. And as people, we are failing to demand our right enshrined in the Constitution of Zimbabwe regarding the issue of languages. So number one, I'm going to begin by speaking about when you are at school. Basically, at school, in various schools in Matabeleland, they teach like languages like Ndebele, others like Venda there. Then if you go on to Masvingo, a section of Masvingo province there, they teach Shangani. And if you go on to the Mashonaland and other parts of Midlands, Masvingo, Manicaland, they teach Shona. So you can actually see that that is good for students to learn all those languages. But let's go to someone who is looking for a job. Let's go for someone who is looking for a university place. Only English is being recognized. If you go to colleges, they will tell you that you must have English and maths. And now it's English, maths, and science. So if you go to universities, the same applies. They will tell you you must have English, maths, and science. If you go to any companies, when you are looking for a job, they will tell you that you must have English, maths, and science. And I believe, and I'm saying here, the whole country is in violation of Section 6. Reason being, when I'm looking for a job and I have Shona, I must be admitted. They must allow a person with Shona language to get a job. Because by denying me an opportunity to get a job, when I have passed all other subjects and I failed English, but I have Shona, I have Ndebele, or I have Shangani, or I have Chewa, I must get a job equally, because the person with English is not superior than me, a person with a Chewa or with Shona, because these are officially recognized languages in the Constitution of Zimbabwe. So you can actually see for yourself that by failure, the institutions of Zimbabwe, the government of Zimbabwe, they are failing to adhere to the Constitution of Zimbabwe. Because here, if you go on to Section 2, it talks about the supremacy of the Constitution, where the Constitution is the supreme law of Zimbabwe, and any practice, custom, or conduct. So this practice of saying you must have English as a prerequisite, whereas it is a language. And if someone with Shona, it is also a language. Ndebele is also a language. Nambia is also a language. So if I have that language, if I have passed that language, but I have failed English, you need to give me the equal opportunity with the person who passed English. I don't know if you can if you are following here. Okay, Anzi Panapana Neoto Nemariba Bomdar. He is acknowledging that I'm being heard. My sound is good. My sound is perfect. Thank you here, Mkoma Mariba, for confirming that you can hear me. So you can actually see as citizens that you must not deny someone an opportunity to get a job, to get a place at a university, to get a place at a college, to get a place anywhere, just because it doesn't have English. He has failed English. Maybe you have failed English with a D. The fact that you have passed other subjects which were set as an on an examination using English is enough to confirm that you understand English as a language. So how can I be told you cannot get a job? When I wrote the examinations, it was geography and it was set in English. The questions were in English, but I managed to understand the questions. I managed to answer the questions in English. Just because I failed English as a language and I passed Shona as a language, you discredit me. You deny me an opportunity to get a job. So you deny me an opportunity to get a place at university just because I failed English. But I can read English. I understand English because I wrote an examination which was not set in Shona. That is very important for the people of Zimbabwe to understand, that the constitution here is being violated. The institutions are willfully violating the constitution of Zimbabwe. So, Hanzina Moyondizo Dewa, English is for British. And I agree with you, Moyondizo, here. English is for the British. And we are still using the colonial laws. We are still using the colonial acts here in Zimbabwe. But we claim that we are independent as Zimbabwe. We claim that we have a new constitution which we adopted in 2013. And that same constitution is being violated here because it recognized the languages here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 15 or 16 languages here being recognized by the constitution. Yet we are still being denied an opportunity to get a job just because we failed a language. We are still being denied an opportunity to get a place at a university just because we failed English language, but we can understand it, we can write it, we can communicate in English. So honestly, if my son can communicate in English, my son can communicate in English perfectly, more than some people who passed English itself. My son can communicate better than most people. So you can actually see that the things we struggle with here are not necessary. We struggle with minors. So how can we have a better Zimbabwe when we are still stuck in colonial activities, in colonial rules, which are depriving the people of Zimbabwe liberty to have equal opportunities here in Zimbabwe? So I don't know what you think about this whole issue. Hanzi pana Moyondizo Dewa zvanzi chirungu chakauya nana roads. Okay, hanzi English ka1. Yes, English ka1. I believe I understand you. English ka1. Hanzi this is Angoni hamuna kwadi. And English is number 1. Sorry, is ka1. And I agree with you with English ka1. But I am saying we cannot deny someone who failed English but passed the Shona, who failed English but passed the Nambia, which is a recognized language in Zimbabwe. For us to hold this constitution must provide an equal society, must provide a fair society. So if we continue with this issue of languages and say we need to be strict about English, we cannot talk about other languages, at the end of the day, we are going to have a failed nation because we might have someone with ideas, real ideas, but because that person failed English, he can or she can't get a job. So if you go to China, you can find a Chinese man who does not know anything about English, but that Chinese man managed to develop a phone, managed to develop a software, which we are using here. We are using English here. But a Chinese who do not understand English managed to develop a phone, managed to develop a software. So you can actually see that as a society or as a nation, we need to be integrated. We work as a team. The people with different backgrounds, with different abilities, we should work together so that we come up with comprehensive items. We come up with better ideas. We come up with better outcome or better output. But by just allowing a group of people to have opportunities in Zimbabwe, we are sidelining a lot of talent. And that tempts me to say, why is it that you are not allowed in Zimbabwe when we have vocational training centers? And you can go to a vocational training center and you pass at the vocational training center. Why is it that you are not allowed to pursue like higher studies, like to go even to college to acquire a diploma? Because if you get to a VTC and you don't have 5 O levels, and you manage to get a certificate there, you manage to get a trade or a class there, you need to be recognized and given a fair right to be able to get a diploma just because you have passed at the VTC. You need to, myself, I attended a vocational training center and I was doing metal work there. So you can actually see that at that time I was young. I was very, very young. So, but at a later stage, I failed to enroll at a polytechnic to further my studies to get a diploma just because I had no O levels at that time. And I was forced to go back to school. I was forced to go back to school because the situation was tough for me to acquire my education. But I was forced to go back to school back to Form 3, Form 4 under tight circumstances. So you can actually see that you need to allow people to go to acquire diplomas. After that, you allow them to go and acquire degrees so that we build an equal society, an equal nation, an equal Zimbabwe. I don't know what you think about this whole issue. You need to tell me in the comment section what you think about this whole issue. But this is my thinking. We cannot continue to be isolated, or we cannot continue to isolate people just because of their backgrounds, just because other people, like, I want to give you an example. Someone who was never exposed to grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, grade 4, up to 7, and he's now an old man. And some of them cannot begin from number 1. They must be given a chance to even acquire doctorates up to PhDs by just allowing them to learn. If they can read, if they can write, if they learn that, that is enough for them to do something which is meaningful with their lives. So you can actually see that our companies are sidelining the locals here in Zimbabwe. That is the reason why we are producing a little in Zimbabwe. We don't have people with ideas here in Zimbabwe. If I can give you an example, like someone like Daniel Chingoma, he managed to do kachikopo kake. It was not a standard, but because of a failed system, he was thrown into the drain. Instead of supporting him, making sure that he's going to produce a more better aircraft, they just throw his talent away. And that is what is happening here in Zimbabwe. And it is going unchecked. And I've given you an example here within the constitution where people are being violated, people's rights are being violated just because they don't have English language at all level. So you can actually see that if you go on section 6, section 6(2), it says an act of parliament may prescribe other languages as officially recognized languages and may prescribe languages of record. And then 6(3), it says the state and all institutions and agencies of government at every level must ensure that all officially recognized languages are treated equitably. This is in the Constitution of Zimbabwe. It says The state and all institutions and agencies of government at every level must ensure that all officially recognized languages are treated equitably. Equitably, they must be treated equitably. So if we have the manpower development of Zimbabwe, we have the Public Service Commission of Zimbabwe, we have all the agencies which are failing to recruit people without English, but who does have Shona, who does have Ndebele, or any other recognized languages. They are failing to uphold the constitution of Zimbabwe, and we can fight that and win the battles in the court of law here in Zimbabwe. So when the military is recruiting, I believe that no one should be turned away because that he doesn't have English, or he doesn't have he doesn't have English. That person must be recruited if he does have another language which is recognized here in Zimbabwe. We must treat these languages equitably. Secondly, if you go on to police, the same must happen. All government agencies, institutions, and all the businesses which are operating within the laws of Zimbabwe, they must respect the constitution regarding that. And let's go on to 6.3b. It says, take into account the language preferences of people affected by governmental measures and communications. Take into account the language preferences of people affected by governmental measures or communications. So we need to take into account language preferences of people here in Zimbabwe. It must be respected. I may prefer to speak in Shona. That must be respected. I may prefer to speak in English. That must be respected. You cannot force anyone to speak in a different language. That is why if I decide to speak in Shona and you decide to answer me in Ndebele, I must not take it as a crime. I must not attack you. I must not hate for you for that. So you can actually see that we need to deal with the matters here and make sure that the constitution of Zimbabwe is adhered to. So at the moment, we have proved that the whole government institution in Zimbabwe has failed to adhere has failed to follow the constitution here. Because everywhere you go, English, maths and science, English, maths and science, there's no Shona there. They must just write any language is accepted at all level, then maybe other prerequisites. But another question arises, are these prerequisites necessary at all level? Like, I want to ask a question. Does a lawyer need maths? Does a lawyer need maths? That is an honest question. So you can actually see that there are other trades, there are other industries which don't need maths. But why are we continuing to use maths? That is just discrimination of citizens just because someone failed maths. Not everyone is good at maths. So you can actually see that some of the things which are included here are not necessary. And some of the things which are being practiced in Zimbabwe, they're not necessary. And that is why Zimbabwe is backward each and every time. The most successful people in Zimbabwe don't have maths. The most successful people in Zimbabwe don't have English. And that is a fact. And the same people are employing people with English and maths. So we need to deal with these things so that we bring an equal society, we bring an equal Zimbabwe. Because other people are being sidelined because they failed maths, they failed English. So without wasting a lot of time, we want to go at 6.4, which says the state must promote and advance the use of all languages used in Zimbabwe, including sign language, and must create conditions for the development of those languages. The state must promote and advance the use of all languages used in Zimbabwe, which means all languages must be recognized when you want to get a place at a tertiary institution. All languages must be recognized when you want to get a job in Zimbabwe. So we know some people without O levels, but they can speak better English, they can write better English. So I don't know if I need to elaborate more on this issue, But I don't know. We are going to another section here. So I don't know what you think about this whole issue. You can write in the comment section if you want to ask a question, or if you want to add a contribution, or if you want to join us live here and you want to add your contribution live here, just follow the link in the description box and we will add you here so that we go on together. If there's no one who want to ask, and I am not seeing any question here, so we are crossing over to what section 7 says. It says promotion of public awareness of Constitution of Zimbabwe. So this constitution must be promoted. Its awareness is very, very, very important. So the state is obliged to promote public awareness of this constitution, in particular by translating into all officially recognized languages and disseminating it as widely as possible. And I want to applaud the state for this, because I have seen the Constitution of Zimbabwe in various languages. Other languages I can't even read, Nambia, Tonga, you name it. I have seen the Constitution of Zimbabwe in all those various languages. And that is very good for the state. The only language I didn't see is the embroidery language. I didn't see that. And I hope someone has seen that. If someone has seen that, you can actually confirm here that you have seen it. So that one is for the blind. I haven't seen it as of yet, but other languages I have seen them here in Zimbabwe. So 7B, requiring this constitution to be taught in schools as part of the curricula for the training of members of the security services, the civil service, and members and employees of public institutions. And this is where we have a problem in Zimbabwe. This is the reason why we always clash with the people in Zimbabwe, with the agencies in Zimbabwe, with the security forces, with we struggle to deal with the people of Zimbabwe here. If you go on to various ministries, the people there who draft policies, who work like on behalf of the government of Zimbabwe, most of them are not aware of the Constitution of Zimbabwe. Most of them have never learned anything about the Constitution of Zimbabwe. That is why we have seen the Constitution of Zimbabwe being broken left, right, and center, being trembled upon left, right, and center. And it is not being observed because it is not being taught as it demands. It is clear here. Section 7B, it says, requiring this constitution to be taught in schools. In schools. And this is a 2013 constitution. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, up to today. Kids are not learning about the constitution in our schools. And the question is why? Why is it that it is not in the curricula to make sure that the constitution is being taught at schools? We must have law lecturers or constitutional lecturers or teachers at each and every school in Zimbabwe who specifically deal with this aspect of the constitution to make sure that each and every person understands the constitution. But here is it. The system we are working on here in Zimbabwe, they know very well that if you learn the constitution at school, you will be ungovernable. Reasons being, the ways they use to govern you are unlawful. So if you know your rights, if you know what the constitution says, you are going to be ungovernable according to them. You are going to demand what you are supposed to have as a citizen of Zimbabwe, or as a student, or as a stakeholder here in Zimbabwe. That is why they are deliberately making sure that kids are not taught about the constitution in Zimbabwe. So that is a direct violation of the Constitution of Zimbabwe. And I call upon President Mnangagwa to say, you need to respect the Constitution of Zimbabwe. You need to make sure that your ministers of education are adhering to the Constitution, making sure that the Constitution is taught in each and every school at each and every level. Kids must learn, must be taught about the Constitution. Let's go on to the training of the security services. They need to be trained. Each and every security service personnel, they need to be trained about the Constitution of Zimbabwe so that they don't just utter certain statements about the Constitution of Zimbabwe, about like the entire nation of Zimbabwe, about the politics of Zimbabwe. They need to know their parameters. They need to know their boundaries. They need to know how they can be involved in political activities in Zimbabwe. So by not teaching them, by not giving them training regarding the Constitution of Zimbabwe, this is the reason why we have the systems which are always against the people, the systems which are always failing the people of Zimbabwe, the systems which are always violating the rights of the people of Zimbabwe. So basically, I don't know if we are in agreement here, but I believe that, I am of the firm belief that the Constitution of Zimbabwe must be taught in schools. The Constitution of Zimbabwe must be taught in the in various services in the government of Zimbabwe. If you go into the civil service, civil servants are not being taught about the Constitution, but they are being guided by the acts. So we have various acts which are governing each and every sector in Zimbabwe. But some of these acts, they violate or they go against Section 2.1 and 2.2. So because the civil service is not being taught about this Constitution and they are not willing to learn more about this Constitution, they end up violating the law. They end up violating the rights of the people of Zimbabwe. So you can actually see that that is why there's no fairness in Zimbabwe. That is why someone believes that does have more rights, more than other people here in Zimbabwe. So we need to make sure that everyone understands the Constitution of Zimbabwe. We need to hold the government accountable and make sure that each and every public institution teaches or gives training of the Constitution to its employees. Proper training so that they understand the laws of Zimbabwe. So let's go on to Section 7C. It says, encouraging all persons and organizations, including civic organizations, to disseminate awareness and knowledge of this Constitution throughout society. This is why we are here. We are being guided by the Constitution of Zimbabwe because I am a person as an individual. I am a person. I am a person. So when it says all persons, I'm a person. So I'm obliged by the Constitution of Zimbabwe to make sure that I disseminate awareness and knowledge of this Constitution throughout the society. That is why we are here. We are being guided by Section 7C. That is why we are here. I am lawfully here, and I'm lawfully addressing the people of Zimbabwe about the Constitution of Zimbabwe. They need to know the Constitution of Zimbabwe. We need to have more lectures about the Constitution of Zimbabwe. We need to have law experts coming on board. We ask them questions, but they are not willing to come on board. They are not. If you invite them, they don't come. So you can actually see the problem we have here in Zimbabwe. And the state has failed to encourage all persons and organizations to make sure that the Constitution, the dissemination of information, the knowledge of this Constitution is spread throughout Zimbabwe. And that is what is very important here. So let's go on to chapter 2. This was chapter 1 we were covering. And I don't know if we need to go on chapter 2 or we are going to begin chapter 2 on another day. But I think we can just introduce chapter 2. Then on the next episode, we go through chapter 2. So chapter 2, it talks about objectives to guide the state and all institutions and agencies of government. So this is on chapter 2, this is section 8, which is on chapter 2, and it talks about the national objectives. And you can actually see that ndo zvinangwa zvenyika ino yeZimbabwe. Zvinangwa zvenyika ino yeZimbabwe. Saka ndezvipi zvatiri kuti zvinangwa zvenyika ino yeZimbabwe. You can see actually see that objective number 1, the objective set out in this chapter guide the state and all institutions and agencies of government at every level in formulating and implementing laws and policy decisions that will lead to the establishment, enhancement, and promotion of a sustainable, just, free, and democratic society in which people enjoy prosperous, happy, and fulfilling lives. So the reason why we went on to chapter 7, and I tried by all means to elaborate a lot on chapter 7, is because here you are now going to see the objectives here. And they are saying the objectives set out in this chapter guide the state and all institutions and agencies of government at every level in formulating and implementing laws. So how do you formulate, how do you implement laws when you don't know the constitution and you work for the government of Zimbabwe? You are working for the government of Zimbabwe, you are implementing laws, you are formulating laws in terms of my acts, but you don't know the constitution of Zimbabwe, you don't understand the constitution of Zimbabwe. You were not given proper training about the constitution of Zimbabwe. How are you going to come up with better statutory instruments? This is the reason why we always get bogus statutory instruments from the ministries. This is the reason why we always have our people being our people being violated their rights because of bogus laws. So how can we implement laws? How can we implement policy decisions when we actually don't know what the constitution of Zimbabwe says? That is a question. That is a question here. So you can actually see the reason why the government must promote awareness of the constitution of Zimbabwe according to section 7. That will assist. That's why you have seen the institutions being talked about, like in section 7. Civil servants, security services, they are being talked about in section 7, so that they know what they must do. That is the reason why we now have the national objectives, and the people who are who work like on formulating and implementing laws are the same people with no knowledge of the constitution of Zimbabwe. They don't know what the constitution say, but they know what the act they are using say. So they know the act, but they don't know what the constitution say. And at the end of the day, we create a situation where we are in a constitutional crisis here in the nation of Zimbabwe, or the constitution of Zimbabwe is being violated each and every time. So I have seen the RBZ governor issuing so much statements, but because he is ignorant of the constitution of Zimbabwe, that is why he is doing all what he is doing. We have seen the Ministry of Education failing to make sure that the constitution is taught in the schools. It's because they failed to appreciate the constitution of Zimbabwe, but they only appreciated the act. And if you check the acts in Zimbabwe, they were designed like in 1970s, in 70s. Those are the same acts which are being used in the government of Zimbabwe right now. These are outdated laws which are being used together with the constitution which was formulated in 2013. So that is why we are demanding the alignment of the laws here in Zimbabwe, to say each and every act must align with the constitution of Zimbabwe according to section 2.1 and according to section 2.2. So that is very important for us as citizens of Zimbabwe. So you must make sure that if you are a citizen of Zimbabwe, you must make sure that you have a copy of the constitution of Zimbabwe. That is very important for you, so that you read out and understand. The constitution of Zimbabwe is found in different languages. So you cannot actually say, I can't understand in these things, because zvinenge zvakanyorwa in Shona and in English. Zvinhu zvacho zvauri kufanira kunge uchiziva panapa. So I don't know if you are together, kindly write in the comment section or in the comment section and acknowledge that we are together here so that we travel together. I don't want to just talk and talk and talk without you acknowledging that we are together here. I want to know if we are together. Just kindly acknowledge if we are together on this whole issue. So you can actually see that on section 8.2, it says, regard must be adhered to the objectives set out in this chapter when interpreting the state's obligations under this constitution and any other law. Regard is very, very important. So thank you, Rollins G. Kutsi, saying so far so good. Thank you very much for confirming that we are together. So section 8.2, it said, regard must be, had to the objectives set out in this chapter when interpreting the state's obligations. So for us to know what the state is supposed to do, due regard must be applied here. For us to know what the state must do, we need to know what the Constitution says, so that we can actually check and see and compare and contrast and say, is the state doing what it's supposed to do? When they are not, we ask them questions. Why are you not doing what you are supposed to do? So that is very, very, very important for us. That is the reason why we decided to bring on the constitutional studies here, so that the people of Zimbabwe can actually understand what we need here in Zimbabwe, why we criticize the government of Zimbabwe for failing or for failure to observe the constitution of Zimbabwe. Whenever you see us criticizing the constitution, the government of Zimbabwe, it's not because we hate them. It's because they are violating the constitution of Zimbabwe. They are violating the laws of Zimbabwe. And this is the supreme law of Zimbabwe. So whenever they violate the law, we need to come out and say, you are violating the law. So I just want to end by going back, giving you a short definition here about something. You need to know that Zimbabwe, for it to be a republic of Zimbabwe, for it to be called a Republic of Zimbabwe, it is guided by three things. Number one, it must be a unitary state. Number two, it must be a democratic state. Number two, it must be a sovereign state. That brings the Republic of Zimbabwe. Those three things brings the republic aspect. So on the democratic aspect, you need to know that you need to vote in representatives. So the issue of democracy is when you are the governance of the nation or of the state is given to the people of that nation. The civilians of the nation are in the governance system of the nation. The military is excluded in the governance of a nation. And on that regard, we have a nation which we call a Republic of Zimbabwe, where the civilians are ruling, the civilians are leading, the civilians are governing the state of Zimbabwe. So we can actually go and check the democratic aspect. It talks about voting. So when we're talking about voting or electing individuals to say, we cannot all, like Zimbabwe does have more than 20 million as of now, more than 20 million citizens here in Zimbabwe. So for us, 20 million people cannot lead Zimbabwe at once. It means we need one person who will be the head of state, who will be in charge of the affairs for 5 years. He's given a mandate to be in charge of the affairs of the nation for 5 years. And that person is not superior to us. You must understand this. That person is not superior to us because we are electing that person and say, go and govern. Go and govern on our behalf. Go and represent us on our behalf. And as the people in different locations, we elect councillors, we elect MPs, and say you have to represent us at different levels. Whereas the councillors, they represent at local government level, and the MPs, they represent us at central government level in parliament. So by understanding that, you can actually see the reason why we go to the votes. It's not just a matter of voting. It's a matter of saying we need representatives to represent us in the governance affairs or activities of this nation. So it boggles my mind when the president earns a lot of money. He earns more than $200,000 a month. That is a lot of money. And it boggles my mind how a whole president who is just representing us as a nation of Zimbabwe is given so much security. Why are we in fear of the people? These are the people who just said, go and govern for the next 5 years. Go and represent us for the next 5 years in terms of administrative issues. And that person is given maximum security, and you wonder why. Why are they afraid of the people? If you were sent by the people, why are you afraid of the same people? So you can actually see that we cannot get access to the president as the citizens of Zimbabwe. That is why you see the number of the president is not published publicly. If the president was for the people, his number would be a public item. I need to just pick a phone, call the president of Zimbabwe, talk to him personally and say, Mr. President, there's something I think we need to fix here. And he asked, what do you need us to fix? Then we talk. Or I just need to go to my MP or my councillor and say, I want to see the president. And the councillor calls the MP, calls the president and say, someone wants to see you. And I'm given the date to say, when do we meet? But you can actually see, for me to see a president, the president of Zimbabwe, I need to go through some security vettings, various security vettings. And sometimes you are denied an opportunity to see the president. But I am one of the people who said, can you go and govern on our behalf, Mr. President? But I'm denied an opportunity to see the president by the CIO. And where are they getting that power? that is a question. So you can actually see a situation where people will say, you have insulted the president. But is the president superior more than me? No, because I have given the president a mandate to go and govern. So whenever I ask the president and say, have you delivered? I'm not insulting the president. No one must come after me. I must be given a fair chance to ask the president, have you delivered? If you haven't delivered, I must have a fair opportunity to say, you need to step down because you have not or you have failed to deliver. The reason why a president is given 5 years is not just to go and sit there for 5 years. He must be there, he must deliver. He must make sure that there is equity, there is equal distribution of the wealth here in Zimbabwe, there's equal rights, everything is equal in the nation. That is his mandate. So when he fails to deliver that, it means he is failing to adhere to the Constitution of Zimbabwe. He is failing to adhere to the agreement we made when we said, go and represent us in terms of governance. Which means at a certain time, we may demand the president to resign. We may demand the president to step down when he is failing. So that is why I always say, we can go to the MPs and say, our MP from my constituents, I can say, go and move a motion. The people from my constituents agrees with and sends the MP to say, go and move the motion of to impeach the president because we believe that he has failed. And the MP must not be afraid. He must go to parliament and move a motion and say, Mr. President, I move a motion to impeach the President of the Republic because he has failed in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And the MP must not be victimized by the party he belonged to. Because he was not voted in by the party, he was voted in by the people of Zimbabwe. I don't know if you understand this. I don't know if we are together. So the president can be impeached in parliament. It's a process. We are sending our representative. But the problem we now have in Zimbabwe is that the political parties are now superior more than the people of Zimbabwe. But the people of Zimbabwe are voters. They are just voters, but they no longer have the ability to direct their MP to say, go and move a motion to impeach the president. If the MP goes and move a motion to impeach the president, the next thing what is going to happen is that the political party he belongs to is going to recall that MP. The MP will be recalled, the MP will be fired from parliament. And he is being fired from parliament by the people who never elected him to parliament. He was not elected by ZANU-PF. He was not elected by MDC. But he is being recalled by MDC and ZANU-PF. And the people from the constituencies are not given an opportunity to go and say, we acknowledge or we agree by the sacking of this particular MP. So that is funny. You can actually see, just using common sense, you can actually see that some things which are happening in Zimbabwe are not lawful by just using common sense. You don't need to be an expert for you to understand this. You just need to be someone with common sense to understand what I'm saying here. We are saying an MP is elected by the people. That is the democratic aspect on section 1. So when the people elect an MP, why is it the people who didn't elect the MP are now recalling the same MP? And they are not given a fair chance to say, we stand with our MP. That is the problem we have in Zimbabwe. So you have seen like MPs like Twana Kilaziv, they were just recalled just like that because he just gave his opinion on President Mnangagwa and President Chamisa. And Kilaziv, who was representing the people of Chile, he was representing the interest of the people of Chile South, who had demanded the unity between Emmerson Mnangagwa and Nelson Chamisa. And Kilaziv was just a messenger. But he was recalled for calling for dialogue between Nelson Chamisa and Emmerson Mnangagwa. Can you just what a toxic nation is Zimbabwe? How on earth can you recall someone for just calling for unity? So you can actually see that someone can be expelled from a political party for just saying, I agree with Nelson Chamisa or I agree with Nelson or Emmerson Mnangagwa on a particular subject. You can be recalled, you can be fired from a political party for saying so. And you ask at the end of the day, where is the democratic aspect in all this? So we want to make people understand the Constitution of Zimbabwe so that you know when your rights are being violated, you actually know. So we are going to take over from section 9, chapter 2, section 9. That is where we are going to take over. I think tomorrow at 8 p.m., if my network permits, from 8 p.m. we are going to take it. Let's just say 8:05. If my network permits, we are going to take it over from section 9 here, going forward. So I will repeat this time and again. We need to understand the Constitution of Zimbabwe. But before I sign out, I want to encourage the people of Zimbabwe to go and register to vote. Go register to vote and make sure that you participate in the 2023 elections, because you have a duty, you have the mandate. You have to vote for the people, for the rightful person you want. And no one must victimize you for voting someone you want. If you vote for someone who is from MDC, no one should victimize you. If you decide to vote for someone from ZANU-PF, no one should victimize you either. It's your choice. If you decide to vote for someone from LEAD, no one should victimize you for that. So I'm trying to find my charger here, but I can't find it. I can't find my charger and I am running out of battery here. So I believe that I need to end it here, and we take it over tomorrow. Then we continue with the discussion. So there's a number there. If you want to join our WhatsApp group, just say Mukundi and we'll add you into the group. And make sure that you become part of our team. So isisu chedu is to So I'm very sorry because my phone had but the problem. I apologize for that. I'm back to give a conclusion on the issue I was talking about. So you can see Team Zimbabwe. Let's agree on this issue. Today, we are in a situation in Zimbabwe where the authorities, the Parliament of Zimbabwe, is failing to interpret the constitution of the, because the constitution says any act which is against this constitution is invalid. So we need to agree that we don't have the whole institution like Parliament of Zimbabwe failing to interpret the laws, and it's most likely that we are going to have the majority of the majority of the institutions in Zimbabwe failing to understand the constitution of Zimbabwe. So I don't want to go further than this. If you are new to this channel, kindly subscribe and turn on the notification bell so that you don't miss out each and every time we go live. I want to thank all people who contributed on this platform. It is very important for us to engage. And for the viewers, I want to thank you very much and keep on coming on this platform. We are going to give you updates. It's either at 8 p.m. or at 9 p.m., depending on the network strength we have, because nothing is working here. So thank you very much for being part of this platform. I believe and hope that you are going to learn a lot and you are going to contribute a lot on these constitutional issues. So till we meet again, thank you very much. And I think at 9:30, I'm going to do a short video. If you are interested, come back at 9:30. We are going to analyze a certain video here where opposition members are being denied access to polls by ZANU-PF supporters. We need to talk about that. So at 9:30, let's meet here and we talk about that issue. So ngatibatei nguva, 9:30, we go and we talk about that issue for a few minutes.